Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to another edition of Bedhead Diaries.
Yes, it is Wednesday here in Las Vegas.
Topic of the day.
Topic of the day. Simple question, but loaded question. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Well, the
What is
song
love?
that's in my head is Howard Jones' What is Love from the 80s. What is love?
Mowedge.
Marriage.
Love. That was Princess Bride.
Okay, so self-love is a given.
By design, human beings are centric. They're designed around themselves.
So I was having a conversation several years ago with a woman who was a marriage counselor, and she said, people get into marriage for selfish reasons. It was kind of a surprise to me because I was going through my own marriage difficulties. And I was like, people get into marriage because they're selfish. It was the first time I had heard that.
And if you think about that for a minute, ever since we were born, our needs had to be met
By someone outside of ourselves. So she was like, well, when you think about it, you fall in love, you desire this person, they're beautiful, they have these things that you want, they can take care of you. That's all self-love. Those are things that they have that you want for yourself. So that's not so much love for that person, it's love for yourself.
So we haven't quite achieved true love then. It's not until you start getting into the appreciation of giving and receiving, when that starts to become in balance, where you get as much by giving as you do by receiving, then you're starting to get into true love territory.
So if there's this person that you've fallen in love with or that you love and you just want to give them things and take care of them and nurture them, that is true love.
Which is much different than enabling, like we were talking about earlier, codependency that we were talking about earlier.
The purest form of that would be a parent-child relationship, because the parent wants to give the child things, help the child grow. It's unconditional love. Invariably, when you fall in love, though, you're seeing kind of a reflection of yourself in the other person. And so it sort of becomes this connected thing where you're loving yourself and loving.
When you start recognizing the namaste version of love, where by giving to this person, you're also giving to yourself, that's where you start evolving into that true and unconditional love.
So the true love would be one heart, one mind, one spirit when you have that love connection of a couple.
When giving and receiving is in balance.
It's the losing yourself in the other person without losing yourself.
Or finding yourself in the other person without losing yourself.
Right, that's what it is.
When you basically experience the same kind of joy giving and receiving from this partner, everything's fluid, everything's in balance.
So with my friend that I was talking about years ago, it kind of opened my eyes to my own relationship I had at the time and went, oh, we have not achieved that. I was like, that is not this relationship. And so it helped me make my decision about whether to go forward or not in that relationship a lot easier when I realized we're just not there. I was reading somewhere along my way that there are 3 types of relationships that you have in your life. 3 relationships.
3 phases of relationships that you go through. First one is the first love.
First
love. Puppy love.
Puppy love. It's such bliss, and there's hormones.
There are probably hormones involved.
And it's crazy.
That one feels great, but there's a lot of naivety in it.
It's so sweet. It's just sweet. And you don't realize how sweet it is until you're older.
Yeah, you don't know what you're missing until you start expanding.
And that first love is just pretty much embodied by one person because you can only have one first. So
Wow.
the second...
No, there's phases.
I know.
There's
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one. Anyway, the second relationship you have is the struggle.
Gosh, this is so hard. Why is it so difficult? How come? Oh, the pain, the horror.
This is torture.
Brings us to the false awareness that relationships have to be work. You've got to work at it. You've got to work hard at a relationship. You've got to work.
David music moment. Relationships, you have challenges and work, obviously.
Absolutely.
It's not like super easy. But I would say that second type of relationship usually starts around your 20s. And the thing is, a lot of people stay in that relationship for a long time. It's power struggle. It's a lot of parts of you have not grown up yet. Some parts of you are regressing into childhood and trying to resolve mommy-daddy issues.
Those are the phases of relationships where you tend to work on your stuff the most.
Right. And those relationships are usually not your final third relationship.
So if you can work on your stuff and get to that point where you're kind of at a good space and place, then you get into the power couple relationship.
You get away from power struggle in the second relationship and into power couple in the third relationship.
And this is the one where each of you have found yourselves individually.
So here you've let go of a lot of ego and pride and power struggle, and you're like, okay, I'm just ready for peace and happiness and compromise and love. And that compromise goes both ways. You're both like have been through that second relationship phase with
The
probably
give and take is equal.
it's probably with more than one person in the second relationship.
The point where two alphas come together who know who they are and are not trying to prove it to anybody. Those teams become the power couple.
The problem that we see is that most people don't get to that place to go. It's so rare, you hardly ever find that.
It's like a unicorn.
It's because you hold on to that second relationship phase too long. People stay in that second relationship phase for sometimes years and years and years with different people, trying to hammer it into the third relationship.
Believing they have to work so hard to make it
It's not going to work.
We've already discovered that unicorns in the wild can be found. Unicorn Heather, we've already seen it.
Yes, if you're in that second relationship and you're both at a crisis and you're going to work, so every once in a while that second one can turn into a third one.
It's possible, but
it's
rare.
possible, but rare. So I mean, every once in a while, it's super
it's
rare.
The unicorn.
And I've seen it happen when couples in the second relationship they split up for a long time and then come back together.
It's the elusive unicorn. The trick with this is to not hunt for the unicorn, but to become the unicorn. You become the unicorn, you find the other unicorn that's right for you, not trying to hammer this person into becoming a unicorn.
Well, they might become the unicorn all on their own. It's going to be really obvious if they don't want to be the unicorn. So stop trying to
Stop trying to hammer somebody into becoming a unicorn. Don't force them to become a unicorn. You become a unicorn and then see.
David is trying to challenge me. I'm practicing unconditional love. Give me a heads up for when he loses all his teeth.
Go find your love.
And has no teeth and is wearing dentures, and I'm going to love him.
If I'm toothless, would you love me?
I'll still love you if you're toothless. We'll get you some nice implants.
Okay, so thank you once again for joining us for another edition of Bedhead Diaries.
Still love me when I'm 64.
And toothless. Yes. So be sure to subscribe, like, and comment what you like the most and what you want to see next. Keep those topics coming. Flo says goodbye.
Blue's being cantankerous.
He's a little poop head sometimes. That's all right.